Back live with your man, with the main man, the godson, the go-go icon, Frank Scooby Marshall out of Eastern High School.
Yes, sir.
So we related to, we talked about the rise of Lissen.
Mm-hmm.
What was the fall of Lissen? And two-part question. What was the fall? And if you could do it over again, would you make the same choices?
In hindsight, of course, we all, we do things different. I go first with the fall, and everybody probably has their own version of it, you know what I mean? But I've heard of a lot of different things. It was over women, it was over money, it was over this, that. It wasn't none of that. It was mostly over direction and pretty much ego, you know what I mean? Like, the dissension started for me when we wanted to do things, and when I say we, I'm talking about me, Tuffy, a couple of guys in the band, look at our rise and where we were as an opportunity to take it further, right? I never forget, we had All-Star games in LA. So a guy called me, he was like, we got an opportunity. I want y'all to do a show in LA, but it's no money. Y'all can come out here, play. I want y'all to play in front of these people. All-Star game, boom, 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 boom. So I took it back to the band, and they, one of the guys was like, man, I ain't leaving Amazon where we getting $7,000 in a week for, exposure or just to change the scenery. You know what I mean? So for me, I was like, but we hit every week, 52 times a year at $7,000. We ain't missing no money. The whole band making over $100,000 a year, like doing what we love to do. Why not take 1 week off, go sightsee in LA, and possibly meet some new people? You know what I mean? And so they declined. Me, Tuffy, and O went by ourselves. Took a CD, and we performed a couple songs on tape, right? We did all right, we did our thing out there, whatever. But coming back, it kind of started a split of the band versus what I believe we were a group with a band. And so if I had to do it over again, I probably would clarify that and make it in terms of, are we a band where we move together, or are we a group like we started out as being at Eastern with a live band behind us? And I think, with Mike being a part of the group, but also being an advocate for the band, it kind of started that dissension. You know what I mean? And I can talk about it now. We all friends now.
But wasn't y'all Lissen, the front line Lissen, and the band, the jukebox?
Well, they wasn't necessarily the jukebox, but they were our band for us. Our very first show with the band was at a spot called States Theater in Virginia, and we got booked as a singing group, right? It was 4 of us, me, Tuffy, O, and Mike, right? We were a singing group, and we wanted to play at the States Theater on this, basically a talent show, a glorified talent show. And we wanted to play with a live band. So we put the band together, consisted of guys that were going to Bowie State with Mike, right? So those were his guys. And the drummer was Wayne Thomas from Eastern, that we all knew, that was in the band with us. Keyboard player was Arvell, who was at Eastern with us. And then we had the horn players and the bass player, who was all from Bowie State, that went to Lissen, but they went to Bowie State with Mike. And so that was our first day with a band. And after that, we loved the chemistry. All of us grew up with each other. We was in a summer band together with the guys from Lissen. So we all, I played trumpet. We all played trumpet. So we was all knew each other from high school days. And after that, we clicked, chemistry, and then we were unofficially a go-go band. So that's how it all came about. But in my mind, we were still a group with a band, right? And so, but once we got Yanni, if I had to do it over to answer your question, I would have reclassified it and looked at it as if we were a whole thing. And I still kind of fight with myself about it even to this day, because nobody is responsible for the name like the guys on the front line. And we gotta really, that's the elephant in the room in every conversation. Unless you backyard with Buggy and Sauce, like the front line is the people that the people come to see and hear. And we gotta really, and if I had to give any advice to any band out there, you gotta address that. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't saying you can get anybody to come play the drums or anybody to come play the congas or anybody to come play the bass. But at the end of the day, if the frontline people are not there, the perception of the band changes from the public. And that was my only thing. And so, you know, when you got guys like the keyboard players asking me, like, what's up with me not being on the flyer?
Oh man.
Like, I mean, you say, oh man, but I know some of the bigger bands, the bigger bands.
How y'all start doing that?
Well, I wasn't gonna say no names, but
the keyboard player on the fly.
I wasn't gonna say no names, Wink. But yeah, that's a thing that goes on in these bands, right? Where, you know, their girlfriends coming out to see them, they getting pillow talk, you know, why is he such and such and such, and why are you not such and such and such? That thing happens. So that's when I say the ego part kicks in and says, well, you know, hey, I think I should be on the fly. Or I know I should be getting as much as you. Where, and listen, we all got paid the same. That's another thing I would change. That's another thing I would change.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
That you did it that way.
Right. But I only did it that way because we started out when we were only getting $40 a man at Tacoma Station. You know, we only getting $40 a man, we get $400, everybody break it down. All right, cool. But now that we get 7,000, it's hard for me as the leader or the face of the band, or even Yanni or Mike or Tuffy, who
get the same money,
who is the face of the band, to get the same money as the guy in the back playing the keyboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
so, and there was 13 of us.
Ooh, that's
horn section. Yeah, so you got the sax player, the trumpet player. They saying, well, you get 400, I want 400. Okay, these are my friends. We literally started it from my bedroom. We practiced at my mom's house in my bedroom. We put the bed up against the wall. You know what I mean? And so all that blood, sweat, and tears. How do you say to your friend of 20 years or whatever it was, hey man, I deserve more than you?
This the house on F Street?
No. Okay. I bought that house from Lissen money.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about my parents' house.
Okay, I got you.
East Street, Southeast.
East Street, that's what I meant East Street.
East Street, yeah.
That's not F Street, East Street.
When it come to that, the band members all want the same money. And I knew that couldn't be. And I wasn't even in a band, but it was just my logical thinking that front line is the starting five get more than the niggas on the bench.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say the bench.
Not the bench, that's just my term.
The bench, because we showed them the same damn good.
Yeah, but that also goes back to even just learning business, right? None of us, we were young. None of us knew how business really worked. So we operating off emotion, ego, and those kind of things. And so, you know, if I had to do it all over again, I would get a crash course in how Coca-Cola runs their business, right? The dude that's in the assembly line don't get the same as the dude that's the face of the company.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Or even how we run a basketball team. Mike Jordan ain't accepting what Paxton got, or Cartwright, you know what I mean? Or even Scotty, right? So as in a band, you know, Ying should get more than the keyboard player or the bass player. He should. And so,
sure he is.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure that's understood.
Yeah.
Well, I got a different take on it a little bit. I ain't saying it's right or wrong, but I'm saying if you need certain guys to further the movement, why not pay them accordingly, or not even accordingly? Maybe, you know what I'm saying. But some of these, what you call them, differences be ridiculous.
Numbers.
Yeah. I was just raised in a fair household, right? So for me, I have no problem sharing the wealth and then hustling my side, hustling my celebrity on the other side.
Right, because at the same point, they booking Scooby for, you know, with this band. You can book 3-4 a week just to feature. Yeah.
Well, I make way
ain't
more.
Ain't nobody
I do my own band.
Ain't nobody hiring no keyboard players. Come on, get on with it.
So to that point, I don't have no problem in my band, and I think I run my band a little different than I ran the Lissen. Like, I'm talking about serious company now. I run my band based on the mistakes and stuff that I made with Lissen. You know what I mean? And so
and that's how it should be. You know, we live and learn.
yeah, absolutely.
So the point you skipped over, it was in 06, it was a great battle, which is I feel that's missing in Go-Go. That had the city on fire. That battle had the city on fire. I do admit it was personal with y'all, or what, I don't know.
So let me catch Miles up. So after Lissen split up, the original Lissen, me, Tuffy, and O went our separate ways. I was telling you about the thing in LA, how we had difference of direction, opinions of direction. So me, Tuffy, and O were pretty much, I don't know if we was fired or we left. I can't just, depending on who you ask, right? So anyway, it was two separate bands. It was Lissen the band and Lissen the group.
That's when the group came about.
Yeah, so me, Tuff, and O kind of went and got some musicians, and we put our own band together. And the band, Yanni, Mike, from the front line, just kept the band that we had. So it was two Lissens. And basically, you know, we were, you know, like brothers fighting, basically. And so it came up about we wanted to promote a battle, and we had a battle at Fur one night.
People wanted to see that.
They wanted to see it, man. It was live on the radio.
Yeah.
The joint was packed. We sold it out. It was crazy. You know, unofficially, well, I'm gonna say officially, we ended up winning the battle. The group did, and you know, that was it. After that, I don't know, none of it ever really felt right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at my brother and my sister over there, and I'm supposed to be trying to kill them. You know what I mean? They went and got E and Deo to replace me, Tuffy, and O, and me and E, you know, grew up together. OP Tribe,
yeah,
and you know, and then Deo.
They think that way.
Y'all was still together, right?
Yeah, Dale was at Eastern too.
Did they take it personal like that?
Absolutely,
it was
like that. It was personal.
Oh man,
it was personal.
You wouldn't got E, man.
It was personal. And you know, looking back on it, honestly, it was really just about bad decision after bad decision, ego, not wanting to talk, just coming together, having a conversation. A lot of that stuff probably could have been alleviated, and I'm most thankful, honestly, now that me and Mike, you know, are as close as we were back then. Now, me and E are even closer. You know what I mean? After him going through chemo and cancer and all that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that really thing put. And then Mike almost dying in the car accident. Right. You know what I mean? And so, then Yanni, like, we all put things in perspective and realized that was music shit.
Right.
Like, we cried,
that's
sweat.
When you get older, you learn that shit.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure y'all talked about this, but let me get your honest opinion, because, I mean, let me get your honest answer.
No holds barred.
No, look. Did you really felt y'all won that night? Because I didn't.
I mean, you win, though.
I was in the group. I was the band only because, you know, Yanni's my number one go-go person in this thing.
Can I get my honest, if I had to dissect that night, they played like they had time. Right. When I say that, they came out with a slow song. I was in go-go all my life.
And you came out with kids.
That band.
You already know you're supposed to come out and kill off.
I grew up looking at bugs.
That's how bugs. Yeah, that's how.
You see what I'm saying? And that was the difference. They sounded great, right? But they didn't come out with a killer instinct.
Right.
And you talk to Eve today, he'll tell you that they didn't listen to him. Me and Eve grew up in the gutter with the go-go.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the band, the twins, the horn players, they didn't get in the go-go until Lissen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they were musically inclined and thought that they can out technical us. You know what I mean? If I say the word.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna play my notes the best I can play. We gonna sound great. We gonna be crisp. Nah, I'm from the gutter, from Unifest. I've been playing the Unifest since I was 11 years old.
Man, that was
Right?
nice. Yes.
So Georgia Avenue Day. So when we came out, we smacked them in the head.
I gotta justify. I love you, mom, dukes to the day that I die. I love you, baby, till I reach the sky. I love you, mom, testify. I love you, baby. Testify for my girl, testify. Yeah, love my mom, dukes to the day that I die. So till I reach the sky, I'm gonna testify.
Hold it, youngin'.
It's GoGo 95 live on WPGC 95.5.
Ain't forgot about your king, but it's all back, y'all, cool, y'all.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
Happy birthday going out to all the Aquariuses, y'all.
Everything after that didn't matter.
Right.
If you know about battles, you know what I mean? The opening line is what people want to remember.
And then when you leave there to talk around town was other than Wing's perception.
But he's winged.
Yeah.
But also, y'all was, you know, I can say this, y'all was the two y'all at the time.
At the time,
Yeah.
Yeah, so you think it was a popularity contest.
I think so.
But I didn't mention popularity.
Yeah, you didn't.
I mentioned what my outlook was on it. You know what I mean? Like, my plan was to not take it easy on nobody at no time.
Absolutely.
Right? If I'm gonna do slow songs, I'm gonna wait till after the show.
Right.
They came out with a Lauryn Hill. It can all be so simple. Whatever it is.
I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style. I hear y'all. And so I came to see him and listen for a while. And there he was, this young boy, a stranger to my eyes, strumming my pain with his fingers, one time, singing my life with his words, two times, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his word, killing me softly, hey, with his song.
You know what I mean? And
You got Yanni.
I know, but Yanni could do other stuff. They could have came out with Danger. It would have changed the whole thing, right? If they just came out, Danger, you know what I'm saying? They could have changed the whole trajectory of that battle.
And then y'all probably would have changed your game plan.
It would change. It might have. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we came right out and dropped that motherfucker.
That was a little suspect too.
What?
Y'all get the finish. I know it was a coin toss, but
It was a coin. I mean, fate is fate, brother. What you want me to do? What you want me to do? Get the right coin toss and say, nah, y'all good take it. I used it what I had. You know what I mean?
Right. So from Lissen, then you hit. Was the team familiar there?
It was Familiar Faces at first.
Familiar Faces.
So what happened was a whole nother breakup. Tuffy didn't get along with She, and you know, in Tuffy being Tuffy, he kind of just excommunicated himself from everything and just left. So after that, we brought the band up. Well, Donnell kind of pulled my coattail, was like, you know, putting the band together. This, that, and the third. At the time, the Familiar Faces that he had with Halima, Doc, that first Familiar Faces, Stomp, all them,
Khalil.
they were kind of tiring of each other themselves. I never forget, he called me. They had a show at a hotel. It was a big show. I don't know, maybe Positive Black Men or something. And he was like, man, look, I don't know if these guys are gonna, basically go ghost on me, right? Talking about half the band.
Right.
And I was like, well, what you mean? What you need? He's like, man, I just need you to be in the building, bring your guitar, just in case. So I came and I put my guitar off to the side, and they ended up showing up, being professional, whatever. They ended up showing up, and after that, he broke the band up after that show, and he was like, I'm gonna put another band together, and that's when he called me, Bojack. At the time, it was Peony from my band. They basically took half of the group, half of the guys that was with him from Familiar, and put a band together called Familiar Faces, and that was it.
We're gonna touch on this a little bit more. We're gonna take another break.
Is that what that bell was?
Yeah.
You think you put that on vibrate?
Yeah.
And listen, follow me on all your social media sites. Frank Serious on Instagram, Serious Company on everything. I see y'all soon, man. Peace. It's the Godson.
Push the subscribe button, man. The subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button.
Yes.
See y'all when we see you. Move 'em.